and the outside world tells them they're too big, or they're too small, or they're too hairy. I don't know. Everybody can be so critical, right? And your child comes home and says, Mom, somebody said this to me, or somebody said that to me, and it makes me feel bad. And there you are with your child, and you have to respond. Talking to your child about their weight is a sensitive subject, especially if your child is growing up with a larger or a smaller body. The risk for causing harm is real. Harm to self-esteem, body image, and just simply making your child feel bad about themselves is a real thing to consider when we talk to our children about their weight. In this video, I'm sharing some tips and some insights on how you can talk with your child about their weight or their body without causing harm. It's not easy, but hopefully I can give you some perspective on how to think about bodies in growing children, and also some useful language that you can use as these topics come up or your concerns about your child come up. Because frankly, helping your larger or smaller child feel better about themselves is a top priority. And it starts with you and how you respond and react when these topics come up. Before I begin, if you don't know me, my name is Jill Castle. I'm a pediatric dietitian, and I run a website called The Nourished Child, and of course this YouTube channel. I'm also the author of 5 books, and I have a 6th book coming out this summer. All of my expertise is in pediatric nutrition, and I hope that by watching some of the videos here, I help you realize that feeding can be a joyful experience with your children, and it can be quite powerful in terms of connecting you and you helping your child feel good about themselves as they grow up, particularly in today's society, which is not easy to navigate for all of us. So how do we talk to our kids about their weight? Well, it's not an easy topic. It does come up. Many people will tell you, don't talk about your child's body or their body weight at all. But what do you do if your child comes up to you and says, hey, Mom, do you think I'm fat? Or, hey, Dad, am I too thin? It begs reassurance from you to your child. But these conversations, which are tricky, do come up, and I want to give you some perspective and some insights as to how you can navigate them. So kids are learning about their world. They may be at home with you, have been growing up with you and feeling pretty good about themselves, and then they go out the door and they go to school or they go to preschool, and the outside world tells them they're too big or they're too small or they're too hairy. I don't know. Everybody can be so critical, right? And your child comes home and says, Mom, somebody said this to me, or somebody said that to me, and it makes me feel bad. And there you are with your child, and you have to respond. Or the other scenario is that you're watching your child's eating habits, or you're watching your child get larger or get smaller, and you're worried and you want to talk to your child about it. How do you do this without hurting or harming them? The world sends a message that some bodies are good and some bodies are not good, and your child internalizes this. Just like when we label kids, we can expect that children, when they hear comments about other people's bodies, we can expect them to think about their own bodies and perhaps even internalize what was said about somebody else into feelings about themselves. What do they internalize? They internalize that there is something wrong with them. So when children are told that they're too large, or that you're worried about their health because of the size of their body, be it smaller or larger, what a child hears is that they are not good, that there is something wrong with them. And just because you have a larger body or a smaller body does not mean that you are inherently wrong. And so we have to help our kids not internalize this sense of worthlessness because of their size. Before I begin with this, I just want to put a little disclaimer out there. You know your child best, you know yourself best, and you know your situation best. So take what I have to say next with a grain of salt. Pick the stuff that makes sense for you, that resonates with you, give it a try. If things don't resonate, then let it go and move on. What I know about all kids who are growing up with a larger body or a smaller body is this. They are already sensitized about their body from the world around them. Their peers, their teachers, their coaches, maybe even their own family members. And so it is so crucial that we come to the table when we are faced with this topic and our child, and we are super sensitive and supportive and empathic. What they need most from you is total acceptance. Okay, here are some concepts and some phrases that you can use when your child comes to you and wants to talk about their body or wants to talk about their weight, or when you want to talk about their body or their weight with them. And quickly before we get going, I will just say, you can talk all day long about your child's body weight or size, and it will likely not motivate them to do anything different. But what it will do is hurt their feelings, probably make them feel bad about themselves, and potentially hurt their self-esteem and body image. So these are some of the things that I think are important to remember, and use these if you want to speak with your child. Number 1, all bodies are good bodies. Remember, everything on the inside, from me to you, to your child, to my child, we all have the same organs that do the same things. Everything on the inside is the same. All bodies are good bodies. People come in all shapes and sizes. We have diversity everywhere, diversity in creed, diversity in color, and we have diversity in bodies. Diversity is a good thing. It makes the world interesting, and that makes the world a better place to live in. Our family accepts all bodies, all shapes, all sizes, all colors, all creeds, all religions. We are open and accepting of everyone. Every body deserves respect. You don't have to change your body in order to be respected. Another thing you can think about or say to your child is, you are not your body. You are so much more than the size and the shape of your body. You're smart, you're friendly, you're thoughtful, you're diligent. These are character qualities that mean so much more than your appearance. Your body can do everything you want it to do. If you want to go run, your body can run. If you want to play a sport, your body can play a sport. If you want to stretch or do a yoga class or sleep peacefully, your body can do everything you want it to do. And P.S., when you're encouraging your child to go and do, encourage them to focus on how they feel when they're moving and when they're doing. So if being outside in nature, taking a hike feels good, capitalize on that, not on how exercise will change your child's body size. Good habits are for everybody. So every person on the planet needs to do the things that keep their body strong and healthy. Every person on the planet. And so you can talk to your child about good nights, sleeping well at night and getting a good night's sleep. You can talk about how much time is spent sitting around, maybe on a computer or on an iPad or watching television. These sit around activities don't help our bodies move, which is what we were all intended to do. Good habits keep your body strong and healthy and able to do all the things you want to do. And last, there is a healthy child in every body. This is more conceptual, but even if your child has a larger body or a smaller body or an in-between body, there's a healthy child in every sized body, and health can be had. It is not attached to size. There are a lot of people out there with larger bodies and larger frames who are very healthy, and a lot of people out there who have smaller frames and smaller bodies, and they are healthy too. And there are a lot of people with in-between sized bodies who are not healthy, who have a lot of problems and conditions and concerns that are going on internally. So focus on cultivating a healthy kid in every body. So if you have a child who is self-conscious about their size, be it larger or smaller, or self-conscious even if they're in between size, don't suggest dieting or more exercise to change their size, because this will send your child into some potentially negative thinking that they are not worthy, that only to be worthy comes from changing their body size. And as you know, if you have a larger child and you're promoting that they have to change in order to be a worthy individual, we're sending them down the path of dieting, and potentially that places children at a higher risk for an eating disorder. And it certainly solidifies this idea that they are not good enough unless their body size changes. Instead, try to shift their thinking. Everybody has a different body size and shape. We appreciate diversity and differences in people. We focus on the internal character qualities, not what you look like on the outside. You have to say this stuff more than once. Our society is so full of these messages that you're not good enough unless you're thin and physically fit. Our kids are growing up with that. So we have to speak more and more and more about what their value is on the inside, how they treat others, that there's value in different sizes, there's value in different beliefs, there's value in differences in general. And emphasize that there are advantages to being larger, to being smaller. And then ask your child what they think. This is a conversation. This is not you just putting positive messaging into your child's brain. It is a conversation, because a lot of kids out there today are getting messages from social media, from their friends, from being online. And those messages they are internalizing, and they're starting to question whether they have value. And every child has value, no matter what their size is. That's it for today, folks. I hope some of these thoughts and concepts and even phrases have helped spark some ideas for you if you are concerned about your child's size, or if your child comes to you and wants to talk about their weight. These are empowering concepts and thoughts and can help you sidestep harming or hurting your child's self-esteem or worthiness with this type of a sensitive conversation. That's it. I'll see you next time. Have a great one.